stage in this room, every performer in the sheet music either performed or lived in Harlem. And so you can kind of take a look at the directory, you can kind of see all the different players here. And for the most part, I looked up to see if they lived here in the city records before 1920. Then when they established that they were here interacting before the Harlem Renaissance, a part of the Harlem Renaissance was really built on these earlier relationships. So people like Burt Williams and Ziegfeld, were all Hammerstein, the grandfather, were all here with theaters and interacting with one another. Even blacks that were on the stage. J. Rosamond Johnson was the conductor for Hammerstein in London, his opera house in London. A lot of behind the scenes, Will Vaudry and people did the music behind the scenes for Ziegfeld. All these people, the hits for a lot of the early performers, like Fanny Brice, were written by African Americans. And like I said, they were finding the American voice between that dialogue. We had some shared paranoias. You know, I mean, there's look at this wall behind you here. There was a song called "Every Race Has a Flag But the Coon," and two people hated that song. Theodore Herzl, who was helping organize the Zionist movement, and Marcus Garvey. And both of them quickly came up with a flag for their organizations as a symbol that even though it didn't exist yet, that they had this goal of that they were going to exist. And Garvey's looking at it from all the African connections reconnected. It would have been empire that rivaled Europe. And Jews were looking at it as they couldn't always go back to the places they came from. Germans here could wave the flag, Italians would be proud of their country, that they could go back. But Jews have been persecuted in the countries they had come from. That's what brought them here. So they were looking for a safe haven as well. And so that point of view, the sort of establishment of American music, is that dialogue. And I don't have anything else, but I leave you with a story. There are two very prominent stories in theater and musicals about casting. Julie and Showboat, and the movie Imitation of Life. And both were written by Jewish women, Edna Ferber and Fannie Hurst. And if you think about Obama, today he's half white. There are very few African Americans that really could pass. It's not an ongoing, conflicting story in black life. But think if you're Jewish and you're German Jewish, and you're very blonde, you don't look what would be stereotypical, whatever that would be. And so, do you say who you are, or don't you? And so even though that story is told as a black story, it's reverberating a Jewish condition, even in that story. And so I really feel in their relationship, they came up with a dialogue of what America is going to be, and it's that shared voice, and it happened in Harlem. And that's what I'm trying to show through this music, that there was a very strong interaction between the music culture, the religious culture, that helped propel this dialogue and really establish this outsider's view of what America could really be, because there is no American. The idea of an American is a conjured thing. The Native American is the American. And so the conception of how we see America in the 20th century really comes out of that dialogue. So as we're tearing down the Lafayette Theater as we speak, the Lafayette Theater is being demolished, and I can trace back to that building all the shows. Ziegfeld saw a show called Darktown Follies, and it was produced by Lester Walton, who was a theater critic and managed to manage the theater for a brief period of time. And Ziegfeld took it downtown and did the show in the corner. And it started that whole the craving of going up to Harlem and seeing what they were doing in shows in Harlem and taking them downtown. So I thank you for coming. Keep looking, but very nice. And this is a snippet of my collection. And so these are kind of organized in themes, but there's a lot more, and I hope to do an even bigger exhibition. I want to work with a storefront space in Harlem, and really do it where people can leave the space. We're going to have walking tours every Sunday through February. We're going to have Saturday and Sunday offer walking tours. You can come see the exhibition, or do a walking tour of the area, and actually point out buildings and talk about it a little more. So thank you. Very good.